Right, who's round is it? Who's round is it? Testing. Hey up. Nobby is going to show you how to eat some of this foreign book.
Very, very nice. Extremely hot. Alright.
I'm going to show you how to smoke. Now he's going to show you how to drink some beer. And now our scribe will fart loudly and sourly. The little red light on.
Cheers now, right?
It's on now. This is me.
Details. Let's have some biographical details before we get down to the muck.
Can we have that in English, please?
You're a cum.
Oh, right.
That's my point in biography, you're a cum.
No. The word is gum.
Gum.
Spelt with a G, like gum.
Can't do it with a mouthful of food.
Now, chips and crack begin with C. Gum begins with G. Let's shut him up with it. Put me off my tag. Right, okay. Right. We're having a dead good time now. It's first pint at day, and it's 11:31. Right, who's round is it? Go on, scribe, ask me some fucking questions.
Biographical details. Like,
What's he mean?
What were you born? Lake.
Well, the question is...
What school did you really go to?
Well, the two schools I've got.
What? Shutty, pal. Shutty. Right, he wants to ask me. This is the start. I was born in Scumsville, back. And I don't remember going to school, but if I did, it was probably 80th Street. Yeah, 80th Street it were. And I were cock at school because I'm so fucking hard. And I got my first shag when I was 10. That's why all the kids in Mac look like me. Next question.
So, the band, just tell us about the band, just for a minute, be serious, just for a minute, all information.
Serious?
Yeah, just for a minute. Yeah, so, just tell us about the band for a minute.
Well, right, we're not really a band, like, it's just like the McLads, and like, sometimes we play gigs, and depending who's sober and around, like, and they sort of play. And we recorded an album at Bald Eagles. We piled out at Packhorse about 3:30, and we're looking for somewhere like after hours drinking. We saw this place called The Cottage, right, and there were some lights on, so we thought, right, must be serving after hours. So we piled in there, and there was a band in there, like, recording, so we beat the fucking shit out of them, right, because they're a bunch of fucking bastards. And Bald Eagle says, right, and he gives me this fucking guitar thing, right, plugs it in, and he says, do you want reverb? I said, fucking hell, not on an empty stomach, pal. And anyway, about 2 hours later, we got this LP, which is out on Monday. And it's, what day is it? The day? Friday. So fucking bleed! It's dead heavy. Dead hard. And it's all about Mac. There's 19 songs on it. Next question, scribe. Beer and Sex and Chips and Gravy by the McLads on Hectic House Records, because we've got a recording contract.
Right, tell us about all these characters.
Well, the present at the moment is Nobby the Dirty Raincoat. Hello, Nobby.
Hello, very nice to meet you, I'm sure.
And we have Paul the Hood from Chorlton cum Hoodie. Hello.
Bonnie lad.
And here we have some puff of a scribe called fucking Puff. And my name's Muttley, and the beater isn't here because he's unconscious in a field near Goldsworth, was last sighting. And Cheeky Monkey is I don't know where the fuck he is. We haven't seen him. We saw him disappearing down the road with 2 schoolgirls and a bucket of warm custard last time.
Oh, I thought that was me.
No. Nobody was actually watching from behind a bush.
Definitely was them.
They were watching from behind a bush. And there's Stez Sticks, who was in fact in Strange Ways at present. Are we still recording it? Stez Sticks is in Strange Ways. Just across the landing from his uncle and next door to his dad. And 1 floor up from his brother. And 2 doors away from his next door neighbour. But he's only in Strange Ways because he can see Boddington's brewery from window.
He feels quite at home, really.
Well, yes, he does. Oh, fucking almost like.
No,
right.
It's on the end.
Well, characters, Sweaty Betty, right, is one of Nobby the Dirty Raincoat's favourite women because she is so fucking fat. She is so fucking fat. She is run by the National Trust, because that's the only one that'll fit her. Joke, see, National Trust. Like, if you take, like, T off the end, like, National Trust. Like big fucking trust, like, because she is so fucking fat.
There's anything you can do to make the word portfolio.
When you make him spread it AIDS all over the world.
Oh, he's a puff. We don't talk about puffs in here. No puffs allowed. We don't like puffs. Baggy Ann has got the baggiest cunt in the world. And she's got slime on her tits and maggots in her knickers. And there's this bloke who phoned me up from America and he said, "Hey man, what is this? I hear you're covering one of our songs, man. I don't like it. I wrote that fucking song." And I said, "Fuck off, you American puff. I fucking wrote it." And I did.
He said, "Get back to your fucking sandpit." That's
Get back to your sandpit. Oh, joke. Why don't packies let their kids play in the sandpit? Because the cats keep burying them. Testing. Bad days.
Oh, tell us what Chubby Brown.
Chubby Brown is a puff.
What?
Next question.
No. Chubby Brown in live in Bradford.
Why, Chubby Brown, man? Well, he, like, goes on stage in Bradford, like, and he says, walks on the stage, says, "You miserable cunts. You miserable bug-ass man. You didn't invite me to your bonfire, did you?" And he got fucking blasted. Right, next question. Macclesfield is a wonderful place. If you draw a map of the world and get the epicentre, I found that word in a book the other day, epicentre, that's where Mac is. Right, next question. And we've got more pubs per square inch than any other place in the world. And the fittest crack and the hardest blokes. And the best beer. And the best chips and gravy. And, well, that's about it really. That's life, isn't it?
Well, it rhymes.
And 10's a number 6.
What's it rhyme with? No. Macclesfield.
Rhymes with Knackersfield, which happens a lot to me, because I am the number 1 stud in Mac. Most eligible bachelor.
Hey, you've been stood up more times.
Good dog.
What the McLad thing about
Who?
Duran.
Next question, please.
Come on, some nastiness.
Who?
Alright, what's the last big thing to come out of Macclesfield?
The last big thing was Slob's turd, actually, which we heard that he was going to Bog. Slob is the fattest roadie, and he's Peter's axe roadie, and he's dead fat. Anyway, he went to Bog the other day. This is the biggest thing to come out of that. And he said, "Lads, I'm going for a shit." So, we got the white paint and we painted windows white. We filled all pillowcases with soil. And we took the kitchen door off, leaned it against the wall, covered it in soil and everything, and rolled it under it. Anyway, it's got half-life of something like 50 years. So, I got on blower to Speedwell's Transport, and he brought round 38-foot Arctic, right? And they got the crane in and they shifted it out and they put it in the outback in Australia, right? And they've got a permanent 24-hour guard on it. And apparently they won't be able to build there for something like 1,500 years. That's the biggest thing to come out of Mac.
What's the second biggest thing to come out of Mac? Dan's underpants.
No, second biggest thing to come out is fucking Sweaty Betty's bra.
Oh, God.
Oh, actually, the biggest thing to come out of Mac is my dick. But it's permanently out of Mac, because Mac's too small to fit it in.
got yourself out of that one, alright.
Alright.
Happen.
Come on, Scribe, ask me some questions.
I'm going to ask you
bored
an
stiff.
intelligent question now, right? In the great Macclesfield tapestry of music, how does the McLad fit alongside Ian Curtis then?
Who? Next question.
Come on, where's the fit alongside Ian Curtis?
Who's he?
Ian Curtis has got on his gravestone, he's got Ian Curtis, love will tear us apart, and the day he died. What's yours going to have?
Like what? Fucking hell, I don't know. I don't give a shit, do I? Once you're dead, you're fucking dead, aren't you? Have a fag, Scribe. These are number 6 we're smoking, by the way. Packets of 10, but buyable from Mixed Mini Market, Chester Road, Macclesfield. Just round the corner from Eugene's. Well, we rehearsed once. Yeah, we've had a rehearsal.
Just keep fucking talking.
We had a rehearsal once.
Keep talking.
Like, and Eugene, like, runs this place where bands can rehearse, so we all went in there, right, and we rehearsed. Thank you. Next question, please.
Keep talking now. Just superb.
Well, you see, sometimes you've got to find something to do between, like, about 3:15 and 5:30, haven't you? So sometimes, well, this occasion we went down there and rehearsed once, and another time we went and recorded an album, which is out on Monday, called Beer and Sex and Chips and Gravy, so bite. Usually we just go shagging, but sometimes, you know, we get a bit bored of shagging, you know, all the time. 5, 6, 7, 8 crack a day. And then a few more at night, like, usually adds up to about 24, but it still hurts when I wank.
See that cover?
Shut it, no breath.
Why do you get banned in Whitefield?
Oh yeah, we played a strip club in Whitefield. A strip club in Whitefield, and we were supported by a stripper who played with their pink bits. And then they banned us for being outrageous and naughty. Well, I can't understand. People find it outrageous and naughty. I don't know why they find it outrageous. It's normal. They just split it up off the cuff, you know. It's just, I think people ought to know about Mac, what goes on, what people say, what people get up to, what Pops Wrigley got up to last week, in fact. Now, Pops Wrigley have started a new breed of sheep.
Oh, he's Ray Knowles, mate.
He's Ray Knowles, mate, yeah. Pops Wrigley lives up in Phil's, right, and he started a new breed of sheep, because, like, in lambing season, right, all these new sheep started coming out, right, and, like, they just look like normal sheep, but they like a pint or two, and they smoke bennies. And they all have to wear glasses, and they look very much like Pops Wrigley. But he denies having any physical contact with any of these sheep. But since we've never seen him with any crack, you know, we are beginning to wonder about him. We are worried. Pops Wrigley is one of the guys who sings backing vocals on the LP because he can't play any instruments. Well, none of us can play any instruments, actually. Especially not the beater, who is shit. Next question, Scribe.
Company PR.
Record. Oh yeah, right. We signed a deal with this record company called Heavy Metal Records. We've still got some tape left. Wait, hey man. That was Charlie the Horde just come in. Wait, hey man. There he goes again. He's just gone to get some pints in. Signed a deal with Heavy Metal Records, and they employed a dead fit PR woman, right? And so we went down to see her straight away. And after we shagged her a few times, right, she said she liked it all. Anyway, she's fucking resigned because she finds us outrageous. And that is disgusting. And EMI refused to press our record. Must be fucking pups.
Gave her the clap.
Peter's given every fucking bird the clap. He's an horny bastard. You just have to look at a woman, he's up her like a fucking ferret.
I've seen Peter's bottom. Back of your fucking feet.
Aye, but the fact is, that anyone who ever seen his bottom is never stationary, is it?
Oh, no,
it's always moving.
It's always
and it usually has 4 legs, doesn't it?
4 legs. No, I was very perturbed by that. watching before.
You were an aerial view, was it?
Oh, I was strictly aerial, yeah.
Right, next question, Scribe.
Suitably stupid to ask. Just keep
You could ask me what I want to drink, and I would probably say a pint of bitter, please. Or a quart.
A jug of ale.
Intravenous drip would be quite nice. Well, I need some questions. I'm supposed to be interviewing me, you
I ask you
bastard.
any questions, you don't answer them, so just keep on.
Well, you keep asking me about people I've never heard of. Like, who's it? Who are you asking about before?
Curtain rail.
John Curtin, though. Never heard of him.
So what was your other drummer called? What's his name?
Surely the Hood, who come from Middlesbrough and lives in Chorlton-cum-Hoody.
No, what's his
Cheeky Monkey.
No.
Stez Sticks. Well, nothing's happened to him. He's still around somewhere. I mean, he's in Strange Ways. He'll be out in a few weeks. Grievous bodily harm of a queer. That is his hobby. Hurting cunts.
Beat the shit out of this person on a ball.
Look, we get booked to play a gig, like, and we usually get about 100 pints a gig. We get booked to play a gig. We just have to rope in anyone who's around, anyone who's not comatose. The fact is, you see, McLad is never ever pissed out of his head because there is not enough beer in the world to make me piss because I can handle my fucking ale, like, I can fucking handle it. I certainly did get one pissed and fucking, I went down like British flag, right, where this Robbie's Old Tom, which is the strongest ale known to man. Now, unless he knows it, right, he won't give you more than half because it is lethal stuff. But I had, well, they ran out of beer, right? I was drinking it like it was a lock-in. I was drinking it like for about 3 weeks, solid, and I got a bit pissed. Like I was like,
you were a bit,
I were a bit merry, right? But like Peter, who can't hold his ale, I mean, he only had about a gallon of it, and he were blind for a fortnight. And Stez Sticks, who only had 6 pints, was clinically dead for a month. Great stuff. Next question, Scribe.
Oh, people just insult me while I can get the beer, for God's sake.
And Piccadilly Records. Under 18s, over 18s, who cares?
What do you want to drink, Brian?
Oh, a pint of beer, please.
Just one.
Yeah, with ice.
What do you want, lager?
Nothing.
Nothing?
No, thank you.
Nothing? No.
How much, right, here's an interesting question. How much are you going to pay me not to reveal that you're in fact called Tristan?
Well, of course, my name is Tristan O'Neill. Unfortunately, Muttley and a few of the other lads have just spotted some thick crack and they just run out of the door. But I'm sorry I'm late for the interview. My name's Mr. O'Neill. I am the manager of the McLads, and I sort of try and organise these young reprobates whenever I can. Anyway, Mr. Scribe, please do ask me some questions.
Right, Mr. O'Neill, just tell me about the history of your band.
The history of the band? Well, there's not much to say, really. Apparently they sort of went into a recording studio one day. That was Muttley, the Beater and Stez Sticks. And for some reason decided to record some of these songs. I in fact do write the music for them and some lyrics, and they tend, when I can manage it, they go into a recording studio, and unfortunately they do change the lyrics somewhat. I mean, I have written some very sensible songs for them about love and understanding man to man. Skipping through the meadows. It is, isn't it? Yes. Well, I do this, but unfortunately when they get in, they sort of make the songs a lot heavier than I ever intended them to, and change the lyrics. But the fact is, it seems to sell, and I'm not complaining about that. So I think it was about 1981 that they recorded the first songs, which was called You've Got to Get Some Bodies Down You. I think that's how it is pronounced. And
one has to. I mean, you wrote the first line was one has to go to the pub and have a drink sometimes.
Well, I think that the sort of essence of it was the essence I was trying to get across was an unhealthy interest in young ladies, a sudden interest in personal hygiene, and a reluctance to drink an awful lot of beer is worrying, was the theme of the song. But they seem to have changed it around a bit, but it seems to work, I think.
I think, yes, I mean, I can't underestimate potential.
Well, the lads in fine fettle, because I just saw them piling down towards the bus stop there. There seemed to be some young ladies standing in the queue. Yeah. So they're all right.
Trousers were around his ankles. Encouraging sign, really.
Well, I'm trying to get them together. We're supposed to be doing an Immigrant interview this evening, and I'm trying to sort of get the lads together. We've got a photo session this afternoon to promote this album that they've got out, which I find very, very bad taste and extremely disturbing. But apparently I have it on good authority it's going to sell, so I really don't mind.
Honestly, O'Neill, what do you say to feminists?
Feminist, shag 'em. Only the fit ones. It seems to be quite infectious, doesn't it?
Yeah, well,
This whole sort of theme of McLadery tends to infect one when you have such proximity as I do. Because unfortunately I have to live practically next door to them, and I sort of get a tiny bit of overspill. But they're so hard to tie down because, they're always in a pub or another. They're always getting extremely drunk and at one woman or another. And, trying to organise them as a band is not easy.
Can actually catch it is when he's running away from you, he's still got his trousers around his ankles.
Yeah.
He falls over. Well, that's every time he happens to catch feet.
Yes.
And that's always comatose.
Yes, I also introduce here my compatriot is Professor Norris, who tries to, in his article in The Guardian every week, does try to perhaps get a bit of in-depth into the McLad's lyrics. I think Muttley seems to write most of the lyrics, doesn't he, nowadays?
Muttley, well, he is the prime contributor. The ethic.
Mm. Well,
sealed within this.
It seems to have taken over your job, but I mean, could I perhaps ask you, Professor Knight, for the purpose of this interview, should we take a song at random, perhaps God's Gift to Women, and perhaps ask you first of all what school of thought that you adhere to, and secondly how you see the lyrics as they are delivered. We could take it line by line or as a concept as a whole.
Well, I would say God's Gift to Women is obviously new territory for me, as it is one of the newer songs.
It is one of the newer songs,
and
yes.
you've rather sprung this on me somewhat. If you could go through it.
Well, perhaps I should remind you of some of the lyrics. Off the cuff now, I think it starts, I got a barmaid from St Helens in the back of my Vauxhall Viva.
The St Helens, the goddess of...
The goddess of love.
The goddess, the goddess of Troy, in fact.
Mm-hmm. She
war
was
between...
supposedly the most beautiful woman in the world.
The Trojan War. That is St Helens, a barmaid from St Helens. It's this juxtaposition between barmaid and St Helens, the perfect woman and the perfect woman. Now, which do you think Muttley actually intended as the perfect woman? Was it the barmaid? Now, did you think Muttley intended the barmaid as the perfect woman rather than the St Helens?
Well, I think possibly, yes. I mean, obviously the whole theme through the album is beer and sex and chips and gravy. Here we have a beer theme and possibly a sex theme as well. And I think that the choice of the occupation of barmaid there, I take it as a true story, but I think that possibly the choice of occupation of barmaid is some kind of nirvana to him, to actually go out with someone who works behind the bar and possibly could supply him with beverages for very little cost at all.
Yes.
What about the choice of Vauxhall Viva? I mean, I think he does drive one most of the time.
He does. I think this is his own universe.
But do you think that the choice of beaver, which in fact on the second rhyme does in fact rhyme with banging beaver,
Yes,
do
the
you
fact
think that
it's
it's
there.
just purely arbitrary?
I think it's just because it rhymes with wants to bang her beaver. I think it's just Viva is a very useful word.
And I think if we take it into it, does it not come
Escort.
from the...
Does escort rhyme with beaver?
I don't think so, no.
Not very well.
Not true. I think we're getting a bit close to the educating Rita theme of words that getting the rhyme wrong.
Oh.
But I think possibly the choice of Viva. Does it not come from the Latin or the Spanish or something? Viva meaning long life.
Long life. Yes. Long dick, in fact.
I think possibly
big, huge penis.
Yeah, seeing that as as a fertility symbol.
It is. I think it is. Yes. Especially when you're in juxtaposition with beaver. The two together, you know.
So I got a barmaid from St Helens in the back of my Vauxhall Viva. She had massive melons and I wanted to bang her beaver. I think we're getting towards the food thing here, are we not?
Yes, the food theme is definitely there. The melons...
Of course, it does rhyme with St Helens.
And of course, well, yes, I think that was just a lucky break.
I think so, yes. It was a sort of... It's a mid-line rhyme.
Yes, it's internal rhyme.
He seems to fall on his feet an awful lot, really.
He does, yes. Usually on some melons, in fact.
Or wherever possible. The choice of melons, then?
Well, I'd imagine Safeways probably do a nice line in melons, I would have said. But
possibly it might have something to do with the physical appearance of the melon being something not dissimilar to female pectoral muscles.
Yes, I would say so. They're very squidgy, aren't they? You know, squidgy.
And rounded.
Squidgy and rounded, and they dribble a lot, don't they?
And they have little pointy bits on the end.
Pointy bits, yes.
And quite pleasant to touch. Indeed, look at.
You can squeeze them very hard against your body, you know, sort of run down your legs.
And then little pips in as well.
Little pips, and
they tend to get under your foreskin.
So, you know, you end up with bits of old melon in your navel. I'm just finding it out.
I'm going to switch this off. Well, Mr. Scribe, is there anything else you'd like me to ask about the McLads before I have to go and find them?
Well, I think it might be quite interesting to ask Professor Norris his opinion of the line, I rattled my teetees against a dirt box.
We have a food thing again.
The agrarian, the rustic. I mean, Macclesfield being where it is in the world, this rustic appeal, the agrarian innocence, getting down to basic soil. Basically. I mean, soil is a dirt box. Imagine it actually being covered in soil, and to rattle my taters, unwashed, unscrubbed taters, covered in soil. And I think that presents a perfect picture of just letting rip and covering each other in soil.
I think we're back to the genitalia theme again.
Genitalia, very dirty genitalia, in fact. Extremely unwashed. Yes, very dirty.
Yes, I not agree. Dirt box, of course, being, I think, possibly a Yorkshire term.
Well, I think the original one was gearbox.
Was it gearbox?
Yes.
Oh, back to the old Vauxhall
Viva
Viva
came
again,
here, yes. I think I've actually seen a copy of the original lyric in gearbox. Is definitely crossed out. And dirt box is...
Oh, so you can write, can it? I've not actually seen him actually write anything down. I got the impression it came off the top of the head.
I don't know, I think it wasn't actually a line. It was a blob of gravy, I think, that actually spilled.
But in Mac terms, that
does constitute an
blob
actual...
of gravy in that particular shape.
Yes, it does.
Constitutes the word gearbox.
Well, it constitutes the blob of gravy, really. But I mean,
yes,
well, it was exhausted that line, I
Is there
think.
anything else you'd like to ask me?
That's the deep spiritual significance behind the line. She said I looked a little like George Michael.
George Michael, yeah.
I was thinking she was on the minstrel cycle.
Yes.
You know more about this than I do.
Well, I think so. Yeah. I think George Michael is his name. In fact, the full name. I don't think it would have fitted in. I don't think it would have fitted in with the meter of the song. But in fact, the name is in fact George Michael Trubshaw, who's a regular at the Pack Horse, Broken Crossing. Boddington's bitter, only 70p a pint. He was in fact known as the stud of the area for some time.
Harry the dog.
It's loose relation, I think.
Yes, there is a sex strain.
He was renowned for his suntan and for his bird pulling ability. Unfortunately, the McLad started to frequent this watering hole, and his reputation has since diminished somewhat. But I think that is a reference to him, and the fact that he's really the butt of an awful lot of jokes. Yes. Is Michael Trubshaw. But Trubby was known as, but of course
also known as has been houseplants as well.
So the actual line goes, she said I was good looking and I looked a bit like George Michael. She didn't want to she was on her minstrel cycle. I think this is Muttley in fact unfortunately showing his little knowledge of that and the fact that he seems to know very little about females in general. Yes. He seems to see them as possibly a source of income and secondly, well, I think primarily probably just a hole.
Yes. I mean,
surrounded by flesh and little pubic bits. Yes. Any other questions?
No, just keep going.
Well, I was just wondering if the lads are actually going to come back in here and they might find a Boddington's pub nearby. Well, thanks for the ale, Mr. Scribe. And is this going out on an EP or an extended 12-inch play?
Once it's been remixed, we'll get it across to Arthur Baker, and I think we'll have a clubland smash.
I think we might. I think the whole album is very fortunate in the word that the words Mac and crack do rhyme. I think he's not done it to the point of nausea, but I think he has almost overdone it with the lads from Mac and Watts and crack and all that. I think it's fortunate, and also the fact that beer and queer rhyme. We've got the fact that something he loves and something he hates, and they both rhyme. He certainly falls on his feet, that lad, an awful lot.
All the time. Johnny's, two Ronnies.
It's a classic. It is a classic.
It is a classic line.
It is a classic line.
I can't remember the original lyrics that I wrote for that, but well, no, I in fact wrote the song as a love song dedicated to a girl that I used to go out with, and I gave it to them and taught them how to play a minor chord, because in fact that is the one song that has got a minor chord in it. The Beater was a bit put out at this, because he does not like playing minor chords. He did at first, yes, but I taught him that if he took his little finger off, it made a minor chord, but he said it sounded far too pleasant.
Yes.
But after pouring several pints of Robinson's Old Tom down his neck, I managed to persuade him to play it in the recording studio.
Well, Stez broke one of his fingers anyway, so he couldn't actually get the finger onto the fretboard, so he had to play it minor, really, didn't he?
I think that comes down to my diplomacy, and managing to persuade Stez that the Beater had been, in fact, up his girlfriend like a ferret. And so a small thing was broken and a minor chord resulted.
Yeah, I think it's rather a little wizard scheme for that.
Yes, anything else you'd like to ask?
Not really, because you probably wouldn't like to answer it.
Well,
where were you born?
I think all the McLads were all born in Macclesfield.
Is that true?
Jewish parentage.
Where was Muttley born?
I think he was born in an area of Macclesfield called Scumsville, which is possibly down on the Macclesfield
I put it to you, Mr. O'Neill, that you are lying.
Well, All I am doing is regurgitating facts given to me.
Yes, well, was Muttley born in Macclesfield?
I've not seen the birth certificate, I just have it on good authority. I mean, I can't really imagine the chappie being ever born, quite frankly.
I think he was born at the age of about 17.
I think he was, yes, sort of just in time to go to pubs.
Yes, just before.
In fact, there is a line in one of the songs of We Are the McLads, we were born in a pub.
Yeah.
And I think possibly a barmaid perhaps lifted a beer towel and found a 17-year-old baby underneath it.
With a pint.
A miracle birth, yes.
I think actually he fell into the tray, didn't he? The trough of beer, Bobbington slops.
I think that's possible, yeah.
And then it was just
sort of
really properly ever recovered from it.
a slight connection with the Obelix thing. Yeah.
What about the accusation that Muttley was, in fact, university educated?
I can't really believe that. I mean, there has been rumours of all sorts of descriptions like that. But I mean, yeah, there have been very, very vicious rumours going now that they all went to a public school, and they all went to university, and they have fathers who are managing directors and things. I really can't believe it myself.
Just press talk.
I think it is, yeah. It's the backlash.
The Mac backlash.
The Mac backlash.
Oh, fuck it, I can't think of anything more ridiculous to ask.
Yeah, we're from fucking posters tonight about us. And we all look really dead hard on our posters. And I turned up at the gig, right, and looking for support band, and they're all hiding in the dressing room. And I walked in and they said, "Are the McLads here?" I said, "Yeah." "Are they drunk?" "Are they in a bad mood?" Are they? So it wasn't on that gig, but we had a fight with a band called PP and the Pungent Smells. They were supporting us at another gig in Huddersfield called the Friendly and Trades. We had a scrap with them, and there were 6 of them. There was only 3 of us, and we fucking battered the shit out of them. There was a singer who were a sooty.
Say that again.
Yes, unfortunately, the last gig the band played in Macclesfield was a place called Lemon Kelly's, and it was the last gig they were allowed to play in Macclesfield because there was an awful ruckus at the end of the gig, and the barman got his nose broken, the manager got his nose broken, and the barman got his arm broken, and there was several £100 worth of damage and fires and all sorts of things going on. And after that, the band arranged to play at the Leisure Centre, which is the biggest venue in Macclesfield, and I personally forked out for all the posters and the tickets and everything, and then the council turned around and said this band was never to play in Macclesfield again, and the gig was called off at much expense, personally I might add, and it was taken from April 1983 till December 85 for us to sort out another gig in Macclesfield, which will be happening on the 30th of November at the Beehive. So there.
What's the Beehive? It's big. You're not going to be here, are you?
Not big enough.
Charlie's put off his trip home next weekend after next, so he's going to go and see Gillian. We're going to be there. We're coming down. Boys, we are here.
Off the Right, went in and played the song. We were in a band called the Little Devils, and it was just me and Stez, and he did the drums and the guitar and the singing, and I did the bass, and I wrote the songs. And we got the beater in to do the drumming on this, and we recorded that, and we booked a load of time in the studio, and we had a load of time left, and I used to sing these McLad songs at parties. And I said, "Oh, let's go and do one of those songs." It wasn't called the McLads then, it was just called, one of those beer songs or whatever it was. So we all jumped in the recording studio, and I grabbed the bass, and Jeff grabbed the guitar, and Steph said, "Oh, I want to play drums," which he hates. And so we just, the very first version that was Bodies, right, the very first version of that, you can actually hear me if you're listening, shouting out the chorus to Jeff when to change. A, D! And recorded that, and we did all the backing vocals on it and everything. And it sort of ended up on this cassette, which was just doing the demo. It ended up on the end of this cassette. And so we played it to loads of people. I sent it round the record companies and I had that on the end. I think they wanted to listen to it, and he said, yeah, I mean, this is good. Oh, hang on. Oh, this is good. And they all passed themselves laughing at it. And then I got a phone call from Ronnie Scott's. That was organised a gig at Ronnie Scott's. This was a couple of days before Christmas 1981. We recorded that. And in January, we got a phone call saying, that band, you know, that got foot get some muddies, don't you? Was that a proper band? So I said, well, I suppose so. He says, well, he come to the gig at Ronnie Scott's. Like Saturday night. So we went down and we were supporting a band. Some weird band, you know, with a funny name. And he said, how many songs have you got, lads? We said, 1. He said, oh, well, come on, you've got to do a few more than that. So we went in the dressing room and wrote a song, right, and said, you know, everyone was waiting for us to come on. We're in there, saying, like, 20 pints of Boddington, da, 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 da. So we wrote it and went on and played Bodies and then 20 pints. And then everyone was like, so we said, well, and we did them again. And we went off. And they were going, whoa! So we came on, we did them both again. And went off. And then everyone went home. And we had to stay around, so this band played like nobody. And they all going out saying, oh, we got a fucking punk band to play some more songs. You know, fucking funny, wasn't it, eh? And I had to stay around because they were using my bass stuff, you see, so I had to stay around. They played to like us. And we were thinking, fucking hell, you know, might be onto something here. Right? So we went in the studio and we recorded 20 pints and wrote Do You Love Me? And recorded those, played them around, and we got another gig then, and some of the 101 Club was in London. It was about March then. And then the Falklands crisis happened. We went and we did Buenos Aires, and lads from Mac and Now He's a Puff. And recorded those, and then we sent that to the Sun. We sent a copy of Buenos Aires to the Sun and to Virgin Records. And then I gave my address in Mac. So I was living in London, gave my address in Mac, and we got a telegram from Richard Branson saying, please get in touch immediately, contact Jumbo Van Rennen. And so it was about a week later after we got the telegram that I found out that, you know, that we got it. And so I phoned them up and they said, Jumbo's gone away on holiday. I said, well, when are we back? So we got an appointment for the day he got back. We went round to see him, and the fucking bastards had surrendered. And they said, oh, well, you know, we just think we'd like to get this out, because Buenos Aires got the one song with no fucks or cunts in it. And they said, oh, you know, we were thinking of getting it out while it was going, you know, A Up the Lads and all that. And so we were a bit pissed off about that, so we recorded Failing with Girls and that Monkeys one, and then put it out, and then sold a few of those, and Melody Maker phoned me, come down and do an interview. So we did an interview with the Melody Maker, and they wrote this bloody fantastic article about us, saying that it was just the best thing that ever happened in the world.
When was that?
That was talking about June 82. So we did that, and then we did some more gigs, and some more gigs.
How did you conduct the interview with that? Just stupidly, or?
Well, no, because the fact is that normally when we go into an interview, we think, first of all, if they're interested, they're meant to be twats, so we just acted the twat. Look like, you don't have to make it that, you know, we understand. So we had a serious chat with Paul Strange, about this fantastic thing about us, and then, like, in the Melody Maker and in the Sounds, the rest of 1982, there were all these little things cropping up about us in Jaws, saying, oh, the McLads are dead outrageous and everything. And
that's the way to do it. Like the membranes do that, and they always got the throws just like ring up and say fucking ridiculous things, and it gets printed, and it's your name every week.
We put out a lyrics sheet, sent those to the papers, and then next day in the Sound said, well, all we did was we just went into the office and put it on the desk. group of vulgar reprobates came into the office and polluted the sounds office the other day, call themselves the McLads. We hereby nominate them for the John Betjeman of the Year Poetry Award. And they quoted
You like your comfort,
little
don't you?
Yeah, it's like you're all living.
You know, they sort of quoted a load of lyrics and said, you know, this is dead funny and that sort of thing. So that tape was selling well, and then we did the interview with Sounds. After we got an offer for a recording deal from a company called Bullet Records in Stafford, and they said, you know, record an album and we'll put it out. So I went and recorded it. That was the A up with the back end and everything on.
Yeah. What was that done on?
What was that done on?
Yeah, what was it recorded on?
Recorded in a recording studio.
24 track?
Nah, it was 8 track.
8 track, yeah.
So we'll be doing it's all 8 track stuff. And we took it down to them, and they said, you know, you can't touch that with a barge pole. So we're left with this, you know, all this. It costs about £100 to record all those songs. So we sort of put that out, and the Sounds interview came out with a photograph, big centre-page spread of this photograph, and just put the address down at the bottom if you want to take right to these. And it came out on a Thursday. It came out on a Wednesday in London. On Thursday morning, I came downstairs, and there was just a pile of mail on the floor.
Really?
I mean, just tons of it. And then Friday morning, Saturday morning, and from that interview, we shifted 1,500 cassettes of the album, and altogether that makes about 3,000 cassettes we clogged all together before we recorded the album over about 18 months. And then what happened after that? Yeah, then I sent a tape to a video company, and they wrote back, said get in touch immediately. So I went down and saw them, and they said, well, you know, we charge X amount.